am sitting over coffee and cigarettes at my friend Rita's, and I'm telling her about it. Here is what I tell her. It's late of a slow Wednesday when Herb seats the fat man at my station. This fat man is the fattest person I've ever seen, though he is neat-appearing and well-dressed enough. Everything about him is big, but it's the fingers I remember best. When I stop at the table near his to see to the old couple, I first notice the fingers. They look 3 times the size of a normal person's fingers. Long, thick, creamy fingers. I've seen in my other parties, a table of 4 businessmen, very demanding, another party of 4, 3 men and a woman, and the old couple. Leander has poured the fat man a glass of water, and I give the fat man plenty of time to make up his mind before going over. Good evening, I say. May I serve you, I say? Rita. He was big. I mean, big. Good evening, he says. Hello, yes, he says. I think we're ready to order now, he says. He has this way of speaking. Strange, don't you know? And he makes this puffing sound every so often. I think we will begin with the Caesar salad. And a bowl of soup with some extra bread and butter. The lamb chops, I believe. And baked potato with sour cream. We'll see about desserts later, he says, and hands me the menu. God, but those were fingers. I hurry away to the kitchen to turn the order to Rudy, who takes it with the face. You know Rudy. Rudy is that way when he works. As I come out of the kitchen, Margot, I've told you about Margot, the one who chases Rudy. Margot says to me, "Who's your fat friend? She's really a fatty." No, that's part of it. I think that's really part of it. I make the Caesar salad there at his table, him watching my every move, meanwhile buttering pieces of bread and laying them off to one side. Anyways, I'm so keyed up or something, I knock over his glass of water. I'm so sorry, I say. It always happens when you get into a hurry. I'm very sorry, I say. I'll get the boy to clean it up right away, I say. Don't worry about it. He says, it's nothing, we don't mind, it's all right, he says. And he smiles and waves as I go off to get Leander. And when I come back to serve the salad, I see the fat man has finished all his bread and butter. A little while later, when I bring him more bread, he's finished his salad. You know the size of those Caesar salads. You're very kind, he says. This bread is marvelous, he says. Thank you, I say. Well, it is very good, he says, and we mean that. We don't often enjoy bread like this. Where are you from? I ask him. I don't believe I've seen you before. He's not the kind of person you'd forget. Rita puts in with a snicker. Denver, he says. I don't say anything more on the subject, though I am curious. Your soup will be along in a few minutes, sir, I say, and go off to put the finishing touches on my party of 4 businessmen. Very into man. When I serve his soup, I see the bread has disappeared again. He's just putting the last piece of bread into his mouth. Believe me, he says, we don't eat like this all of the time. You'll have to excuse us, he says. But don't think a thing about it, I say. I like to see a man eat and enjoy himself, I say. I don't know, he says. I guess that's what you'd call it. And puffs. He arranges the napkin. Then he picks up his spoon. Oh God, she's fat, says Leander. He can't help it, I say, so shut up. I bring him another basket of bread and more butter. How was the soup, I ask him. Fine, he says. Excellent, thank you, he says. Is it warm in here, or is it just us? No, it is warm in here, I say. Maybe we'll take off our coat, he says. Go right ahead, I say. A person has to be comfortable, I say. That's true, he says. That is very, very true, but I see a little while later that he's still wearing his coat. My large parties are gone now, and also the old couple. The place is emptying out. By the time I serve the fat man his chops and baked potatoes, along with more bread and butter, he's He's the only one left. I drop lots of sour cream onto the baked potato. I sprinkle bacon and chives over the sour cream. I bring him more bread and butter. Is everything all right? I ask him. Good, he says. Very good, he says. Enjoy your dinner, I say. He nods and keeps looking at me until I move away. I know now I was after something, but I don't know what. For dessert, I say to the fat man, there is the Green Lantern Special, which is a pudding cake with sauce, or there is cheesecake, or vanilla ice cream, or pineapple sherbet. We're not making you late, are we, he says, puffing and looking concerned. Not at all, I say. Of course not, I say. Take your time, I say. I'll bring you more coffee while you make up your mind. We'll be honest with you, he says, and he moves in the seat. We would like the special, but we may have a dish of vanilla ice cream as well, with just a drop of chocolate syrup, if you please. We told you we were hungry, he said. I go off to the kitchen to see after his dessert myself, and Rudy says to me, Harriet says you got a fat man from the circus out there. That true? Rudy has his apron and hat off now, if you see what I mean. Rudy, he is fat, I say, but that's not the whole story. Sounds to me like she's sweet on fat stuff, Rudy says. Better watch out, says Joanne, who just that minute comes into the kitchen. I'm getting jealous, Rudy says to Joanne. I put a special down in front of the fat man and take all the ice cream and chocolate syrup to the side. Thank you, he says. You're very welcome, I say, and a feeling comes over me. Believe it or not, he says, we have not always eaten like this. Me? I eat and I can't gain, I say. I'd like to gain, I say. No, he says. If we had our choice now, but there is no choice. Then he picks up a spoon and eats. What else? Rita asks, moving her chair closer to the table. This story's getting interesting now. That's it. Nothing else. He eats his desserts, and then he leaves, and then we go home. Rudy and me. Some fatty, Rudy says, stretching like he does when he's tired. Then he laughs and goes back to watching the TV. I put the water on to boil and take a shower. I put my hand on my middle and wonder what would happen if I had children, and one of them turned out to look like that. So fat. I poured the water in the pot, arranged the carton of half and half, the sugar bowl, and the cups, and take the tray into Rudy. As if he's been thinking about it, Rudy says, I knew a fat guy once, a couple of fat guys, really fat guys. They were tubbies, my God. I don't remember their names. Fat. That's the only name this one kid had. We called him Fat. He was a neighbor. He lived next door. The other kid came along later. Wobbly. Everybody called him Wobbly except the teachers. Wobbly and Fat. God, wish I had their pictures. I can't think of anything to say, so we drink our tea, and I get up to go to bed pretty soon. Rudy gets up too, turns off the TV, locks the front door, and begins his unbuttoning. I get in the bed and move clear over to the edge and lie there on my stomach, but as soon as he turns off the light and gets into bed, Rudy begins. I lie on my back and relax some, though it is against my will. But here's the thing. When he gets on me, I suddenly feel I am fat. I feel I am terrifically fat. So fat that Rudy is a tiny thing and hardly even there at all. That's a funny story, Rita says. But I can tell she doesn't know what to make of it. I feel depressed, but I won't go into it with her. I've already told her too much. She sits there waiting, her dainty fingers poking her hair. They're waiting for what? I'd like to know. It is August. My life is going to change. I feel it.